Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. We finally have some breaking news from Congress. A group of senators have just put forward a new infrastructure plan that may be passed soon. President Biden promises to change Social Security as soon as this year.
Relationships around the world, our allies and friends, and protecting the American people. That's my responsibility as president. I also told him that no president of the United States could keep faith with the American people if they did not speak out.
Folks, an infrastructure plan crafted by a group of Senate Democrats and Republicans would cost roughly $1 trillion, and that's a price tag that leaves the senators with work to do to win over members of both parties. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone's support.
Regarding questions of full employment and inflation have been directly challenged by the macroeconomic developments and trends that we've seen in the last 2 to 3 years, to the point that Chairman Powell himself has kind of talked about these relationships now being at a faint heartbeat when we thought they were almost macroeconomic law in a way.
I think on Social Security you'll find more resistance for one reason. It's not part of the deficit. It's not part of the... If you were to increase revenues in Social Security or decrease costs, that would not go into deficit reduction. It would go somewhere else. And there were 29 Democrats, I was one of them, who signed a letter saying do it, but do it separately and later. It's not as immediate as the crisis of Medicare and Medicaid.
Robust support for an equitable, inclusive global economic recovery were the top priorities of our nations as we got together. We know we can't achieve one without the other. That is, we have to deal with the pandemic and in order to be able to deal with economic recovery, which as we're doing.
Now, the proposal, which aims to update physical infrastructure, such as transportation and water systems, would cost $974 billion over 5 years, or $1.2 trillion over 8 years. It would include $579 billion in new spending, above the baseline already set by Congress. According to Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, President Biden asked for about $600 billion in new money, and senators have not announced how they plan to pay for the investments. The 10 lawmakers who reached a deal said in a statement that the proposal would be fully paid for and not include tax increases. The group framed the proposal as a compromise to upgrade U.S. infrastructure, with bipartisan support in Congress, and the senators still need to win backing from President Biden and congressional leaders for their plan to gain traction. In a statement responding to the plan, White House spokesman Andrew Bates said questions need to be addressed, particularly around the details of both policy and pay-fors, among other matters. Joe Biden's hopes of channeling billions of dollars into green infrastructure investments to fight climate change are running into the political obstacle of winning over Republican lawmakers, who oppose that approach as unnecessary, excessive spending. The White House's ability to ensure a climate focus in Biden's sweeping infrastructure package is becoming daunting, so much so that key Democrats are warning that the administration should quit negotiating with Republicans, calling it a waste of time. Democratic Senator Ed Markey told reporters, "From my perspective, no climate, no deal. I won't just vote against an infrastructure package without climate action. I will fight against it." Now, this debate is similar to the political and policy differences, complicating President Biden's broader talks over his ambitious infrastructure agenda. The sweeping $1.7 trillion American Jobs Plan making its way through Congress, as Democrats and Republicans argue over what exactly constitutes infrastructure and how much is needed. The president is seeking a newer definition of infrastructure, trying not only to patch up the nation's roads and highways, but also to rebuild its economy with new kinds of investments for the 21st century. What do you think, everybody, about the Biden administration? And what do you think about the Democrats and the Republicans? Do you believe that they will send out the fourth stimulus check? And should they stop playing political games and help out the American people? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below. Now, the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for Social Security benefits in 2022.
Abide by. I also said there are areas where there's a mutual interest for us to cooperate. For our people, Russian and American people, but also for the benefit of the world and the security of the world.